guys, so you may be wondering why there's some Gen Zers up in his house. Well, it's because obviously I only made it on the cusp to Gen Z because I use that terminology. But anyways, there's a reason why we're all here. We're getting married, or we are married already. So we're gonna be exploring our love stories, how we met, why we chose to get married in this day and age. So whoever wants to start, how did you guys meet?
You can start.
Okay.
I feel like there's like not really that big of a story about us first meeting.
Yeah.
We met on Instagram.
Gen Z.
He swiped
love.
up on my story.
Cute.
And then he was performing at an event.
Yeah.
And he offered me free tickets.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
He also offered my friends free tickets,
Oh.
so that was a bonus. And then we met that first night, and then we've been together since.
Aww, I love that.
It's fun. Okay.
Very fun.
We'll go next then. So you guys go
Okay.
last. Okay. Storm and I were actually co-workers at Little Pika's.
Cute.
Yeah, so that's where we first met. But like, I saw him at UOG maybe like the first semester of college.
Aww.
But just in the library because he was classmates with my brother Maui.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've always just like, and he was like, oh yeah, that's Storm. And that name just stuck in my head because I've never heard of that name.
Yeah.
Like, I even told him if we didn't start dating, I would have named my kid Storm. Only because I thought the name was so cool. Yeah, and then, but it wasn't until we were both like not at Little Pika's anymore when we started dating, which is in 2019. Yeah.
Friends to lovers. Cute.
Yeah, so we were friends first, yeah. And then we're actually, it depends when this airs, but February 14 on Valentine's is actually our 6-year anniversary.
Oh, congrats, guys! Happy
Thank you.
anniversary. And you guys are
It's our
getting married
sisters
this
too
year.
this year.
Okay, congrats,
Yeah.
guys.
How about you guys? How long have you been?
We will be together a decade this year.
Oh.
Okay.
10
Now, how did you guys meet?
We are high school sweethearts. So we have been going to school together since freshman year, but we got together junior year. And fun fact, Ethan did not like me. I liked him. He always says he didn't like me, but I had a crush on him and I'm very direct. So like I told him, I was like, I like you. So period. Now we're married 10 years later.
A true Sagittarius
True
queen.
Sagittarius. True Sagittarius. You love me, right?
Yes, I do.
I need some affirmation, right? We need
I was like, how could you not like Destiny? She's literally the sweetest person.
Right back at you. And we have to also say everybody here is a fire sign aside from Eve,
Except
but that's
for Ethan,
okay because we love our
Virgos.
Virgos. Beyonce is a Virgo and we love
Truly.
Beyonce.
And our very own Nick Delgado.
Yes, and Nick Delgado is the Virgo.
So all three of you guys are Aries. And me and
Lot
Des,
of fire right here too.
Yeah.
Des and I are both Sagittarius.
And it's fire as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot
we
of
don't know
fire in
anything but
here.
our own. Yeah.
It's okay. That's all right. So we just got engaged in the same year that we got married, and we went to Japan, and it was our first trip together because we go there often with our family. And this time I just thought we were going together to have a vacation. And then we got into our hotel room, and I just will distinctly remember Ariana Grande's Eternal Sunshine album came out, and I was listening to that in the bathroom. So like, as I flush the toilet, I'm coming out, and just mind you, the toilet is still flushing. And then I come out, and he's on his knee, and then he poses to me. And then, yeah, I really didn't expect it. And it was just, I still am at a loss for words, like thinking about it, because it was such a special moment for us. And yeah, so every time I listen to Eternal Sunshine, it's a breakup album, but it reminds me of love.
I love how intimate it was too.
Yeah, I love it too.
Aw.
Good job.
Thank you. Good job.
How about you guys?
You wanna?
You go.
Me?
You go. Yeah, you go. You go.
Well, I'm not very good at planning, so I asked Reese's mom for all the help, and then
Aww.
so like I told her we had like a Christmas, what was it, dinner?
Work party. He
Yeah, like
told
a
me
work
it was
party.
a work party for his. Yeah.
And then I was like nervous the whole day, and then I was like, okay, we gotta go. We get there a little late.
My fault.
Yeah. It was at Riga now. We get there a little late. I told her, okay, hold on. We're waiting for my friend, my coworker. He's coming with his baby, and she's like,
But I
okay.
have to interject because during this time, I'm also like, I had an inkling, but I also didn't want it to not happen, because if it didn't happen, I would be upset. So I was kind of preparing myself for it not to happen, but also feeling like it was gonna happen at the same time. So I was like in an inner battle within me. So go ahead and tell what she said.
What was that?
When we were late and then we got
Okay,
there.
yeah. So we got there. I told her my coworker was coming. I had her wait. Said I needed the restroom because I had my friends who like do like commercials and everything. I went and got mic'd up so that
I didn't notice the mic.
Yeah,
When I came back.
so-
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I went back and said, all right, we gotta go. And she's like, wait, your friend. I said, never mind him. we walked down the stairs, and then like as soon as we get down the stairs, we have like a marry me sign and everything.
Oh, that's so
And she was
cute.
like, is this for me? I was like,
I had to confirm, because like again, I was still like, what if this isn't for me? So I had to really like confirm like this was for me.
yeah. So pop the question. She said yeah.
It was such a beautiful
Thank you, Reese's
setup.
mom.
Shout out.
Shout out Amazon.
Oh, that's
Do you want to say? Betty, you need to get him out the shell, Betty. Okay, so we got engaged. It's so funny because February is actually like it's a very important month to us because this is our anniversary, our engagement, and also our wedding month, which is so crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, so anniversary is February 14, and we got engaged February 18th of 2023, so we were engaged for 2 years. So we were on a trip to Tinian for our first ever Pico Fest together.
Oh.
And I believe, was that my first time in Tinian? Was it my second time?
I think your first time.
Okay, that was my first time in Tinian. And I had no idea. Like, I think this is our first scene on my trip together. And I was just super excited to meet his Manglona side, you
Yeah.
know, like getting to see like where he like grew up in, like the place that he was born, because he was born in Saipan. And we were at Taiga Beach, which is one of the most famous beaches in Tinian. And it's so funny because I remember Storm's sister was there and I had my camera and like, and you guys know, like I like taking photos, right? So I'm always like, let me take a photo of you guys. Let me take a photo of you guys. And she was like, no, Darby, give us your photo so we can take a photo of you guys. And we're like, okay, yeah, no problem. I was like, thank you. We don't have a lot of photos together. Like, you know, and so, and then we went to like this, it's like a cliff part from like, so this is like the beach and there's this like one like walkway down and that's where like people like jump off. Yeah, so like to the beach. It's a very, very beautiful beach, yeah. And then they were like, Darby, let's go jump. So like I had my back face and I was just looking, I was gauging like, oh my goodness, like how far is that drop? Like, am I gonna be okay?
Yeah.
You know? Cause like obviously it's my first time hanging out like with his Manglona side. I'm not gonna be like, oh, she's a little beep, you know, like I can't do that.
You gotta do it.
I was
You gotta
like,
jump,
I need
girl.
to do it.
We gotta
And then
jump.
when I turned around, he was already on his knees, and everyone's phones were out, and I was like, oh, now it all makes sense.
I'm crying.
Can you imagine if you
Imagine
tried?
you jump.
Yeah, so like super like I had like the adrenaline rush was so crazy that
Yeah.
like, you know, he said his speech, he asked me, and then right after I like wore my ring and I was like, can I jump with my ring on? And they were like, no, take it off. But yeah, it was so funny. Like I can just remember like my heart was beating like super fast. Like, cause Storm's very like, I mean like we get along, but he's also very like, he plans in his head a lot. Like, not in a bad way, but like,
Are you
Like
good at
surprising.
planning? I think
he
you're very good
is,
at
yeah, I
planning.
would say so. And the thing is like, Storm's not,
Not to say you're not.
Storm's like not he's a man of few words. So like, if he doesn't say too much, it's not weird to me. You know what I mean? So it's like, I was really surprised. Yeah, like,
Lucky.
How nervous? Yeah.
She was like, are you okay? I was like,
yeah,
I
were
think
you
so.
nervous?
How nervous were you? On a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous were all of you?
I wasn't really nervous because I knew she was gonna say yes.
Confidence. Okay.
I mean, we were together for like 9
Yeah,
years
that's
at that
fair.
point. So.
I was waiting for it. I was like, when are we getting married, sir? How about you?
Yeah, I knew she was gonna say yes too. I was too nervous.
I was gonna say yeah.
You guys all knew we were gonna say yes, like innately.
She better. What the heck?
Did you think I was gonna say yes?
Yeah.
Okay, Slay. But a fun fact, after I had come down from like that adrenaline, I remember I just got in the car. First person I messaged, Betty! I just got engaged. But yeah, it's so funny because now she's my godmother.
Betty's behind
Betty.
the camera, by the way.
That's my
To
Nina.
everybody watching. Shout out
Yeah.
Betty.
So we just talked about the engagement.
Yeah.
So after that comes the wedding planning. And so for us, at least, I always say that because he took the time and was planning the whole engagement, that I would take it off his plate and I would do all the
Aw.
planning. And I say that, but in reality, I just really wanted it to be.
Her way.
Super valid.
But you know, like, you had a great time with the wedding planning, you know? You had a great time, even though it was all me. So for the wedding
Yeah.
planning, so our engagement actually wasn't that long. It was a couple months, actually. So when I was looking for wedding planners, I wanted someone that was gonna give me a lookbook and give me this, and this option, and I would just say yes, yes, and yes. And so I think, and I truly wanted like the process to be so easy going, so that, but like I didn't want to do too much, so that on the day of the wedding, I didn't want anyone apart from me to like I wanted everyone to be chill and like let the wedding planners worry about what they need to worry about. We'll worry about what we need to worry about, and then we'll have a smooth wedding. I think the only thing that we did in terms of planning was like decorations for like the after dinner part. And then in terms of stress, we got married at the Sky Chapel at Tsubaki.
Yeah.
And so their max capacity is 40 people.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, and so it really was a very, very intimate wedding because
Sorry, Eli.
yes, sorry boss, sorry. So that's why we really only had family there. I feel bad because even like my family had so many people that it was like they had to sit on Bryce's side. So some of my family was on his side, and so I think that was the only stressful part of it because we really had to limit like who we had to invite and stuff like that. Were you stressed at any point?
Nah.
Are you sure? You seem pretty stressed on the day
Yeah, I was stressed on the
but
day of. Forgot my, what is it called? My
you want
boutonniere.
your boutonniere.
My vows.
He forgot the card he wrote his vows on.
So you have best mans.
But thank God for our wedding planner because they had backups. And
That's good.
And then how about you guys? Oh, you're in the middle of
Yeah,
wedding planning.
and you are your wedding planner. So how's that going?
Well, first thing is hire a wedding planner. So I guess for this one, I wanted, of course, like I totally understand like the whole like making it like look a certain way, but at the same time, I guess I wanted to do the wedding planning because the whole point, or not the whole point, but like the whole theme of our like wedding is very like a personal thing. So I like through every process, like of course there's some that like I delegated more, but delegating, but Storm actually helped a lot with like a lot of the logistics. So I'm more on like the design part. So we split that in half, and yeah, has it been stressful for you?
Man, a few words.
No, seriously. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it is very stressful. I wanted to circle back on what Reese and Bryce were saying too. Like, it's so hard not to include like everyone. Of course, like everyone wants to celebrate you, and it's like, how can you decline someone who wants to celebrate like us? But it's really just a matter of sacrifices and choosing, because then like if we don't set that boundary, then not everyone's going to be comfortable, and that would have been worse on our end too. So there can be double celebrations, but we shall see. Honestly, it's going by well so far.
We can always renew our vows.
Good
and
luck.
That
good
part.
luck.
That part.
Yeah.
Well, Ethan, you're gonna have to take this one because I am not a planner. He's a Virgo, so this is where the Virgo comes in. And also, we were in a foreign country, so everything was Google Translate or Duolingo.
So we definitely hired a wedding planner. It was a little stressful because I guess some things that I would say in English don't directly translate to something in Japanese. So she would get confused a lot, and then I guess her translator too, or whatever she was using, didn't translate to English well. So then I would get confused a lot. Like, I think we ran into a situation where the flowers were just like totally different from what we truly wanted.
Not a great.
But you know, it's okay.
Yeah.
But I definitely think everyone should, if you have the chance, get a wedding planner if you want.
That speaks
Please.
English.
That speaks English.
Don't be
Preferably.
ambitious.
Shout out
Preferably.
Mickey. Your English is amazing. She was top grade, honestly. She was awesome. But even with you guys, like we had a really intimate wedding. I think we had how many? Like 40? Or less than 40? Like,
Less than 40 people.
yeah, less than 40 people is just our family. And we did that intentionally. And I just want to say apologies to all my family and his family here on Guam. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm still hearing it to this day. But we were very intentional about, like, if I couldn't cry in front of somebody, I would, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's so
I
valid.
just wanted to make sure that, like, everybody that was there, that they felt comfortable and we felt comfortable. And yeah, it's still hard for me to talk. You guys know I'm talkative, but it's hard for me to talk about this because I will cry. So I'll just be like,
Yeah, I think one of our friends made a joke. They're like, how come you didn't invite us to the wedding? And then I was like, dude, I have to invite my Nana. They were like, I don't think she really wanted to go.
That's a good one.
I'm sure she wanted to go.
I'm very sure she wanted to see me get married. I was gonna say graduate.
And then here we are with
you cry?
how many guys?
I didn't cry. I was about to.
Why did you're
He
telling
didn't cry
everybody some
either.
crazy things? He cried, everybody. No,
I
I'm just
cried.
kidding. He said
didn't
he
remember.
okay. Wait,
He
I have to
didn't.
tell the story, guys, because
I was
he
like,
almost
take it away.
cried. But I was walking down the aisle and my dress was super long. So like when it was supposed to be like the serious, solemn moment, I was like, "Hi guys." So yeah, I hope that's what that broke the tears.
That's what broke it.
Period.
That's a good one.
I think for you, because since we were at the Sky Chapel, like
Yeah.
the sun was like like blazing down, and I felt so bad because where he was at,
Like, all the
people were saying
pictures
he was looking
I'm
mad.
yeah.
He was like it was the sun was like, and he's like trying to be so like sincere in his vows too.
Aw.
And he was. I cried during his vows,
Yeah.
but like in all the pictures, he's just like squinting really hard. So that's the only thing that you keep in mind.
That's why those never surface.
That's a good one.
You think
Is
you're
that-
gonna cry, Storm?
Oh yeah, you guys. Oh, coming up.
Yes.
We'll see.
I hope you cry. Oh, I will
Okay.
say. Yeah.
I don't know.
And
I
it's
just-
okay if you guys don't either. That doesn't measure your love.
For
honestly.
sure. For
There's
sure.
a lot going on the wedding day, honestly.
Yeah. And it's more on like, you know, at the end of the day, that's you two's day to share together.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what other people see, but it's what you guys show each other.
Yeah.
And now, speaking of the things that we only show each other, let's talk about habits. All of us like stay with our partners, right?
Yes.
Okay, now let's talk about it. Des, let me ask you first. Like, and then Ethan next. Like, what is Destiny's best trait and iffy trait?
I have no
Tell us the two things that like stand out the most. In
Please
terms
don't
of
do me dirty.
personalities too.
I'm your wife.
A reminder.
She's like,
Best trait
Good start.
and
good
the
start.
only best.
Only
No, I'm just kidding. No, only the best stuff.
Okay.
I think she is the most kind-hearted person that I know, and it's like she's so kind-hearted that it kind of rubbed off on me. I don't think I'm the nicest person,
You
so
were nice. You were the sweetest.
made me a little bit nicer in that part of my life. So I think that's really kind of her to
you.
do that.
Disclaimer, everyone. He is the nicest person. Literally, I say the exact same. He has great habits only. I will say that. That's my husband.
Period.
Can
Period.
you imagine if we all said bad traits?
yeah.
They said no.
Okay, now Bryce and then Reese.
Go ahead.
No, but Reese, I think just her support. I mean, with everything I've done or plan to do, she's just always like right there, behind me, beside me, always pushing me. Even when I'm like, let me just wave, she's like, no. And so Yeah, it's just a support.
Not exactly like that.
I know the support system. She's like my biggest fan, so
I really am.
I gotta, gotta have a little ride or die.
Yay.
Are we doing worse too? Or what?
Later, babe. Later. I think for you, I just love your unwavering love for me. Like even like in bad times, like even when I think like I piss you off, like I think like
No.
yeah.
Never
Like
that.
even in those moments, you never fail to remind me that you still love me just as much as you loved me when we first got together.
Aw.
So yeah, that's I think is your best trait.
Thanks, good job, brother.
Wow, that was a.
Aww.
Yeah, no, like, I guess for me, the best thing is that Darby, like, she really takes good care of me. Yeah, man, like, I work a very, like, demanding job, so I spend a lot of hours away from home, and, she's always good about waking up early to make sure, like, my food's ready for the day.
Oh my god, I'm crying.
I cooked you breakfast this
Come home
morning.
come home to like a clean house, and uniforms are always set. So, like
It's the little things.
yeah, it's just
Okay.
like always takes care of me. So I try to make sure that when I have a day off, try to just spend it doing chores because I feel bad. Yeah.
That's so sweet.
Sure.
Write that down.
Well, with Storm, I think that like that whole acts of service thing, because my love language has always been quality time, but dating Storm, tomorrow man, like will bush cut your yard for you, like he was the one who taught me that how big an act of service kind of love is, and I feel like that's the kind of man he is, that maybe a man of a few words, but he'll really show it in his actions, whether it's like what he says, like whether it's coming home to a clean house or making sure food is cooked. And on top of that, Storm's a very, very great cook. Like he's really, really good. Yeah. And this is why I stay with baking, because if I was in the kitchen with him, we'd fight all the time. So we had to separate the duties, but the dishes.
You got the bottom half of that.
Can I just add, because I just noticed I didn't even say anything. I just said, oh, he's a nice person. I assumed like the worst, but I just want to say literally same thing like what Storm was mentioning. Like as a reporter, I live a very hectic life. I come home and like I could come home after covering a murder or something crazy, like a distressed swimmer, for example, for today, and my mental is not always like there. So like when I wake up in the morning and I have breakfast for me and I'm like ready to, oh my god, see guys, I'm so emotional, I cry every single podcast, but I have like food set for me so I can like focus on my work, and like among all that chaos, like he is my rock. Like I know somebody who truly loves me and like will always be there for me. So like
I feel like I'm like saying our vows to each other last time.
my best friend, my biggest supporter, like, oh, sorry, I always cry.
We're supposed to cry.
You made us up too.
Every time I do a podcast, I cry. Sorry, guys. Okay, I just had to add that.
So I feel like it's a good time. We have to keep the good vibes going. Our new friends at Kilig Concepts, they gifted us a single rose bouquet. And I know that it's usually the women or the men who give the women the flowers. But I thought it would be great if we gifted our husbands, our soon-to-be hubbies, our okay. Happy Valentine's Day, babe.
Happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's Day.
And so, Kilig, that's like, so the way they described it, it's like that butterfly feeling you get with your significant other. So I thought we could all go around and just talk about like, what's that Kilig moment that we had with our significant other? I feel like I could start. This was when me and Bryce weren't even dating yet. Like, it's probably like the after time we like hung out.
Yeah.
And it was at our friend's family beach at Urunau. Shout out to Derek. He was kind of our wingman that night. It was like a friend. All of our friends were there. And if you've ever been to the beach down at Urunau, like it's beautiful. Like, and so it was at night, and it was a full moon. And so he had asked us. He knew that we were kind of talking, and he had asked us, "Do you guys want to go downstairs and like go to the beach? It's really nice." And so he led us down to the beach, and he kind of he was a really good wingman. He like ditched us and like let us be there by ourselves. And so we were just there, like, and we were like, "This is like really romantic." We were like, we don't even. I know we were like both in shock, and like the moon was like, you could grab it, and it was a full moon. Like the waters were like rushing, and it was just such a beautiful night. And I was just like looking at him, and I was like, "Wow, I really like you."
And then I got scared because it was dark.
Yeah.
So I said, "Let's go."
True story. Okay.
That's a good one. Okay.
Where do you want to go?
Oh no, you're
Is
right.
it both of us?
Is it both?
Yeah, I feel like I want to hear your Kilig moment.
Well, I'm a very shy guy, so I think when the day after my little performance thing, she came to see me, and like my vibe was just very like different from the first night. So we were sitting.
Alcohol might have been
Yeah.
a factor when we first
Little
met. So he
liquid
was
courage.
very like out there and outgoing when I first met him.
Yeah, so we were just sitting. She came over and we were like sitting in the car, and I'm just like this.
He's literally like on the window, like.
And she's like, "Does this guy even like me still?"
I was like texting my friend, like, "Why am I here?"
But yeah, I opened up a little bit, and then she saw the real me. But then, yeah.
So it was just that.
See you, butterflies.
See you. Bye.
I still give you butterflies.
Oh yeah.
How about you guys?
Okay. So kilig is actually a Filipino term, and it's so funny because that is the closest to the definition in English is butterflies. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, so I would say the kilig moments that I have is like something that reoccurring throughout our whole relationship. So like, you know, like I said, Storm's a very quiet guy. You guys can tell by now. That's fourth block. but what Storm does a lot is that, for example, if we're in the gym together, we're in public, and like, you know, we're just not next to each other.
Yeah.
And we make like random eye contacts. Like Storm will like wink at me.
That is so cute.
like super random. Like we'll just make eye contact, and he'll have a dead space, like just dead serious face.
Yeah.
And I'll just wink. Sorry, I can't wink, so I can't do it. But it always makes me laugh, and then I'm like, oh, like, it's just so funny because from that split second, like, you know, I can see, like, you know, who he really is, and it just reminds me of why I fell in love with him. So, yeah.
That's so cute.
That is so cute.
That's my cute reminder every day, I feel like, is Storm winking.
Always got butterflies.
Hey.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, we love that.
Oh, that's it. And now you, Destiana and Mr. Ethan.
Oh my gosh. So like we said, we were so young when we got together. I was like 16, 17. So I just remember when I told my friend, I was like, tell him I like him. Because I want that guy. I want him. And so word got back to him, and then we were walking in the hallway, and I was going into my class. I forget, I think I was in like literature or something like that. I forget. But anyways, he was walking past me, and
Wait, I was gonna tell this exact same story
go
too.
for it.
So, I mean, we went to a small school, so there's
Yeah.
not that much routes you can take to your other class,
Thank
to your
God.
next class. So, I was walking to my next class, and she was holding the door open, and
Yeah.
then that's kind of like the first time I've ever said a word to her, and not like just to a group of that she was in.
Yeah.
So I just directly said, "Hey, what's up?" or something like that.
Yeah.
And then that's the part that gave me butterflies.
And I got butterflies. But I felt like butterflies in my hands and like my feet and my stomach. And I was like, whoa, I never felt like this before. It was wild. And I was like, girl, I'm 16. How am I supposed to? But that feeling, like, that's what like love feels like,
When
right?
you know, you know.
When you know, you know.
It took a
That's
lot
the
of guts for
feeling.
him to say, "Hey, what's up?"
What do I say? What do I say?
Did I say hey in the right tone? What's up? Who says what's up?
Dang, I didn't tell her my name.
I didn't even introduce myself.
Hey, you got her.
You did. You got that ring.
Yep.
You should have said that when you proposed.
As the toilet's flushing.
Truly.
Truly.
And I feel like a great way to wrap things up is just to give like other couples, other young couples out there, like some advice, like, you know, some things that we can give them to help them create lasting relationships like ours.
That's a good one.
Did you guys have anything off the?
I can go first, actually. Okay, so, you know, obviously it's so easy to talk about the good times and the fun times and the Kilig, like, moments and memories, right? But I think an advice I would say, this is also something that, like, Storm and I still try to practice every time, is that 2 advices. So one of them is that when you guys are in a disagreement, just remember that it's the 2 of you versus the problem, not me and you, or not you and him against, one more time. So the 2 advices, the first one is that, you know, when you guys are in a disagreement, you need to remember that it's not you and him against each other, it's you and him against the problem. And that's something that we like to like remind ourselves that, like, just because we're in a disagreement doesn't mean that we have to like attack each other or like keep tabs on like who's gonna win at the end of it. It's more so the greatest win is that you guys finding a solution against that problem, and it's squashing that problem and not squashing each other and putting each other down.
And we love that.
So that's one thing that like Storm and I really try to like remind each other. And the second one is that you have to accept each other and each other, like especially in a long-term relationship. You guys need to like this, like I said, this is also advice that we're taking for ourselves, but we have to remind ourselves that there's gonna be different versions that we're gonna meet with this person, not just like, you know, with each other. Like we're gonna meet adult, like we're gonna, you know, even though we dated as like teens, preteens, there's gonna be an adult version of ourselves. There's gonna be mom and dad version of ourselves. There's gonna be grandparents version of ourselves, and it's just a matter of really taking the time to like get to know the people and the versions our partners are, and not staying complacent on who they were before, and not hold it against them just because they weren't the same before, because obviously we can't stay the same forever. And I think that's the key too.
It's funny how you say complacent, because I was just about to say, I think that was my advice. Like, I always try to remind both of us, like, I use the word comfortable, and like not in a good way though. Like, I don't want us to get it to a place where we don't, like, I remind us to do like the little things, like even things as little as like, you know, cooking breakfast in the morning, having you know, a clean house to come home to, or even like making sure to say I love you every day, or even when we're fighting. A new thing we're doing right now, I'll just go up to him and just kiss him even if I'm mad, and then I'll just go off and then so just reminding ourselves every day to like to keep that Kilig, you know, energy in our lives, to don't become too comfortable and always keep each other on our toes in a good way. Yeah, it's a good one.
I love that. You have any advice?
You?
I think for us, our biggest bonding mechanism is laughing. Like, we love laughing. So I think for any couple out there, I know everyone has a different journey. Who am I to give you advice? You are on a different path. But just at the end of the day, find what bonds the both of you together and really foster that. And like you guys said, don't let go of what keeps you guys together. So it's as simple as that, but we tend to complicate the most simple things. But yeah, at the end of the day, do a stand-up routine in your living room and make each other laugh.
Really? Does every couple do that?
Damn. I thought it was just us.
Well, I think that was great. So thank you guys so much. Thank you, Kilig Concepts, for these beautiful bouquets.
Yay. Seriously, so
I
cute.
hope you appreciate
Bouquets
it.
for the boo.
Bouquet.
I had so much hanging out with you guys.
I know. Thank you guys
fun.
for sharing.
Let's keep doing this.
And we got Storm out of his little shell.
Yay!
A win is a win.
All right. Thanks, guys.